First and foremost, congratulations to all of us for remaining resilient and driven during this difficult year. I can only imagine how painful it was to remain optimistic when the world around us seemed to crumble piece by piece every day. As the token word of the year, these were unprecedented times, but I am proud of myself and I am proud of you. As first-generation students, it was not easy to get here. This pandemic likely exacerbated and transformed your life for better or worse, but here you are, graduating. Recently, I passed by a construction site. It seemed abandoned and lonely as the buildings that were once there had been demolished. All you could see was the bare, light brown, airy soil with some weeds and wildgrass growing around the area. Construction materials were sprawled in a disorganized manner. However, in the midst of it all was a beautiful tree that had blossomed fully with baby pink flowers. As the wind blew, the petals floated tranquilly across the loneliness of the site. This moment took my breath away. It defined every single moment I felt during the school year and this pandemic. Those feelings of uncertainty, fear, anxiety, sadness, and distress. And I know, like many of you, it was hard to love yourself. It was hard to believe in yourself. It was hard to turn those negative thoughts into something more positive. It was simply just hard to get out of bed every morning. A year full of twists and turns and broken promises. As defined by Google, a promise is a declaration or assurance that one will do a particular thing or that a particular thing will happen. It's not bound by any legal contract or written on paper. So I wondered, why do so many people make promises? And out of all of those promises, how many of those were to yourself? What use was a promise? It was just a jumble of words that either disappeared out of thin air or had the potential to actualize. Yet, even if broken, it signified love, trust, and commitment. I didn't believe in promises at first. In high school, I made millions of promises. Some I kept and some I broke. I promised that I would do well in school. I promised that I would make my parents proud. I promised that I would always give 200% effort. I promised that I would go to college. But the one thing I broke was my promise to learn to love myself. When college application season rolled around, I was eager, excited, and confident. WashU was my top choice, my dream. I applied to the early decision round, and when I opened the decision email, it started off with, "Thank you so much for applying. This year, we received an unprecedented number of applications from highly qualified applicants." Then, all I could see was the red, bolded word. Application status, deferred. I spent days in my bed crying, blaming myself for not being good enough. My future now became clouded with uncertainty. It seemed silly that something as minuscule as a college deferral could destroy all confidence in oneself. No matter what anyone did or said to me, it hurt, and it was scary. And that point forward, I started breaking more promises than I could handle. I will always remember the words that snapped me out of this negative, exhausting cycle. My mother looked me in the eyes and told me, if college was easy, everyone would do it. You didn't work hard for another person. You worked hard for yourself. You know why? Because you promised yourself. When I looked at the flowering tree in the distance, I realized that that tree must have made a promise to itself to grow brightly under the warmth of the sun, even amongst a deserted terrain like I had. It was a commitment that reinforced trust in oneself to grow beautiful and strong. Even so, I was eventually accepted during the regular decision round. My happiness soared through the roof, but this wasn't the end of my struggling. Even throughout my time here, I felt so out of place that I had considered transferring schools. We, as first-generation students, unfortunately suffer from these feelings of unworthiness and self-loathing. But what's important is that these feelings are not yours alone. They're all of ours. Just like the lone tree in the construction site, we have the ability to be breathtaking even in the most dire circumstances. And it all starts with this poem from Shelby Lay. To the person I am today, I promise I will start loving you again. I just need to remember how it feels to be proud of you, to look in the mirror and be in awe of you. I just need to remember what it was like before I told you you weren't good enough. I buried you alive, piling doubt and loathing into your body like soil. So only I can bring you back to life. And I will. I promise. A promise is always there for you. It is what you make of it that brings it to life. And those promises start with you. You are the commitment. You are the trust. You are that promise. Like the tree blossoming unwaveringly in the construction site, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and be your own promise.
When I was asked a few years ago what it meant to be a first-gen kid, I wasn't quite sure what to say. I pondered for a quick second and then answered, it means that I'll be the first in my family to graduate from college. Plain and simple, right? At the time, I was in high school. I was excited to someday embark on my college journey, but I was completely clueless of what this term would grow to mean to me in the coming years. Fast forward a bit. It's been 1,362 days since our first day of classes, and here we are, dressed in regalia and getting ready to graduate from one of the best schools in the nation. These past 4 years have been a wild ride. From spending late nights in Olin Library, cramming the last bits of material for exams, to transferring to Zoom University in the spring of 2020. Without the strength and bravery instilled in me by my family, I don't know how I would have done it. My grandmother, born in the segregated South with no more than a 4th grade education, packed her belongings and headed northbound to give her daughters and sons a fighting chance to be somebody. And my mother, a first-generation middle school student and high school graduate, joined the Army and did all she could to give me that same chance. Now, our stories may not be exactly the same, but I'm confident that some days, many of us woke up feeling like we carried the weight of our family's honor upon our shoulders. We worked tirelessly, day in and day out, to make the highest grades in our classes, to make our families proud, and to make every sacrifice our loved ones made for us worthwhile. They have expended so much time and so much effort to make sure that we had every resource we needed to cross this finish line. So, to all the family members, friends, neighbors, pets, and so many more who are gathered with us today, and to all of those who we have lost along the way, it is my honor to say thank you. Your joy has uplifted us, your love has supported us, you have moved mountains to see us to this point, and I'm happy to say today that we have arrived, not by ourselves, but together. So, when someone asks me now what it means to be a first-gen kid, I tell them, we are the legacy of all those who have come before us and all of those who have assisted us. We are the believers who turned adversity into determination and determination into opportunity. We are the dreamers who looked to the stars in the midst of darkness and never lost hope in the chance for a brighter tomorrow. Well, tomorrow has come, and in just a few short days, we will participate in our commencement ceremonies. This chapter of our lives will conclude, and another will begin soon. So, Class of 2021, remember what it means to be a first-gen kid as you write your next chapter. Carry on with the same bravery and strength that you had 4 years ago. Use this momentum to break through barriers, to shatter glass ceilings, and to transform this world into a better place. And do it with confidence. Congratulations again, graduates. I'm rooting for you, and I am so proud of each of you.